What if the best stories in Cambodia aren't found in its temples or its cities, but along the water? Tonight, we drift into one of those moments, an evening cruise on the Tonlé Sap River, where Phnom Penh glows all around us, and the river carries us toward whatever comes next. And by morning, next becomes Battambang. But this isn't just a transfer day, it's a journey layered with surprises. A family pottery workshop shaping clay the same way their ancestors did. A town where French colonial architecture whispers its own history. And finally, a cliffside spectacle at sunset, when millions of bats pour into the sky in a single breathtaking wave. So the question is, how many unforgettable moments can one day hold? Let's find out. After a somber day walking through the haunting halls of S21 and tracing the quiet paths of the killing fields, the weight of Cambodia's history stays with you. So we end the evening in a different way, not to escape what we've learned, but to breathe again. As the sun dips behind Phnom Penh, we step aboard a small boat on the Tonlé Sap River. The water carries us gently forward, the city slowly softening behind us. There's something comforting about ending the evening on the water. Like many travelers, we board a simple tourist cruise along the Tonlé Sap River. Nothing extravagant, just a gentle ride that lets the city breathe around us. The Tonlé Sap River is more than just a scenic waterway. It's one of the few rivers in the world that reverses its flow each year. During the monsoon season, the Mekong River swells so dramatically that it forces the Tonlé Sap River to run backwards, sending water upstream into the Tonlé Sap Lake. That lake, the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, expands from around 2,500 square kilometers in the dry season to over 15,000 square kilometers when the rains arrive. Entire floating villages rise and fall with its rhythm, and millions of people depend on its fish-rich waters for their livelihood. We drift northward, where the Tonlé Sap meets the Mekong. This confluence is one of Cambodia's most important waterways, a crossroads of trade, culture, and history. Out here, the hum of the city softens, replaced by the steady churn of the boat and the gentle slap of waves against the hull. It's a simple cruise, the kind thousands of tourists take every year, but there's a quiet magic to it. A moment to watch the city come alive in lights, a moment to let the day settle. The warm glow of sunset fades into deep blue. Phnom Penh slowly transforms. The city lights flicker on one by one, bridges glowing like ribbons, temples shimmering in gold, and the skyline reflecting across the water in long, wavering streaks. As we drift farther from the riverbank, the skyline begins to shimmer. One by one, the tall buildings flicker to life in the darkness, windows glowing, towers pulsing with color. A quiet reminder that Phnom Penh never really slows down. Even at night, the city stays active and vibrant, breathing its own rhythm along the Tonlé Sap. After a peaceful 2-hour cruise, our journey drifts to a gentle close as the night settles over the river. Morning comes quietly in Phnom Penh. The streets are already awake, the air warm, and the city moving with its usual rhythm. Today, we leave the capital behind and begin the long drive northwest toward Battambang, Cambodia's second largest city, known for its countryside charm and slow, easy pace. As we head out of Phnom Penh, the skyline fades and the road opens into wide stretches of rural Cambodia. Small villages line the highway, clusters of wooden houses on stilts, roadside fruit stands, children biking to school, and farmers already working in the fields. It's a side of Cambodia that most travelers only glimpse from a window, but it's here that the country's everyday life unfolds. Along the way, we stop at a small, family-owned pottery workshop. No big signs, no tourist crowds, just a humble space where generations have shaped clay into bowls, jars, and cooking pots. The craft is simple, but beautiful, done by hand the same way it's been done for decades. You can hear the soft rhythm of the potter beating the clay into shape, see the clay drying in the sun, and feel the pride in their work. This tour company makes a point of supporting small, family-run businesses, and this pottery workshop is one of those local partners. She lifts the pot with a quiet pride, the same one she shaped right in front of us just minutes earlier. The clay is still soft, still carrying the warmth of her hands. As a small family business, they make the most of every visitor who stops by, offering brightly colored sarongs for the women and traditional kramas for the men. It's their way of sharing a piece of Cambodian culture while supporting their livelihood. For our demonstration, she takes a simple krama and begins twisting and folding it with practiced hands. In just a few seconds, it becomes a krama cabal, a padded ring used to balance heavy water pots on the head. It's a small glimpse into the everyday ingenuity woven into Cambodian life. On the table in front of us is their entire catalog of handmade clay creations, a colorful showcase of skill passed down through generations. Tiny animal figurines, each painted with its own personality, sit beside rows of miniature pots and cups shaped from warm terracotta. Larger vessels, carved with traditional patterns, stand proudly at the back, while playful creatures, turtles, birds, lizards, even cats, add a touch of charm to the display. Together, these pieces reveal the heart of their craft, practical pottery blended with whimsical artistry, all made right here by hand. We continue our journey toward Battambang, rolling in late in the afternoon. After checking into the classy hotel, yes, that's really its name, we settle into this surprisingly upscale and comfortable spot. A little time to relax, freshen up, and unwind, and soon we're back together, climbing into tuk-tuks to explore the city. Battambang is Cambodia's second largest city, home to more than 200,000 people, and known for its quiet charm. Founded in the 11th century, it grew into an important trading hub along the Sangkar River and later became a center of French colonial administration. Today, Battambang is celebrated for its well-preserved French colonial architecture, thriving art scene, and deep agricultural roots, a city where history, culture, and everyday Cambodian life come together. As we move through Battambang, the city reveals its familiar silhouettes, temple roofs rising above the streets like quiet guardians. We pass the Independence Monument, a smaller echo of the one in Phnom Penh. It may not be as towering or ornate, but it still stands as a proud symbol of Cambodia's hard-won freedom. Our tuk-tuks pull up to one of Battambang's most striking landmarks, the old governor's residence. Built in the early 1900s, this grand colonial structure once housed provincial leaders during both Thai and French rule. Today, its yellow facade, red-tiled roof, and elegant arches stand as a beautifully preserved reminder of the city's political and cultural past. Walking through its grounds feels like stepping into a chapter of history that still shapes Battambang today. Just outside the grounds, we come across two large portraits: the king, Norodom Sihamoni, and the Queen Mother, Norodom Moninith. Their images stand with quiet dignity, framed in gold and set against the greenery. Nearby, an impressive cannon and a pair of stone lions guard the area, known locally as Singha, that add a sense of ceremony and strength. Together, the portraits and statues create a powerful reminder of Cambodia's royal heritage and the symbols that continue to shape its identity. From Battambang, we continue west along Route 57, the road winding through quiet villages and open countryside. As the hills begin to rise ahead of us, Phnom Sampov comes into view, a limestone mountain steeped in history and home to one of Cambodia's most famous natural spectacles. By late afternoon, we make our way toward the Bat Cave, where millions of bats stream out at sunset in a breathtaking river of motion. It's one of those moments where nature turns the sky into a living canvas. Phnom Sampov isn't just the source of the famous Bat Cave. The mountain itself is a canvas of devotion and artistry. As you approach the cliffs, the rock face comes alive with enormous carvings. One section depicts a detailed scene of monks and sacred figures beneath stylized trees, each figure carefully shaped from the stone as if emerging from the mountain itself. Nearby, two monumental Buddha sculptures dominate the cliffside. A serene seated Buddha carved high into the rock, and beside it, a massive reclining Buddha stretching across the stone. Together, these carvings turn Phnom Sampov into a place where nature, faith, and craftsmanship meet, adding a powerful spiritual presence to a mountain already known for its natural spectacle.
As evening falls, Phnom Sampov comes alive with a carnival buzz. Street vendors fire up their grills, small restaurants spill light onto the road, and hundreds of visitors gather for the nightly bat spectacle. The mix of sizzling food, chatter, and anticipation turns the whole hillside into a lively open-air festival. Beyond the River of Bats, Phnom Sampov is ruled by its other wild residents, the long-tailed macaques. They roam the cliffs in impressive numbers, growing bold from years of human presence. Their curious stares can turn into sudden displays of dominance, a reminder that up here, we're the visitors in their kingdom.
This couple suddenly finds their path blocked by a stubborn macaque perched defiantly at the top of the ladder. It's a standoff, and not one you want to escalate. These monkeys can deliver a vicious bite, and their bold, food-conditioned behavior makes them unpredictable. While we waited, we even watched a larger macaque snatch some food straight from a youngster and sprint off, a reminder that the social drama here is very real. We chatted, laughed, and finished our drinks, the crowd buzzing with anticipation. Then a shout cut through the evening. "They're leaving!" Instantly, every eye snapped toward the cave high above us. A few Asian wrinkle-lipped bats slipped out. Then the trickle exploded into a torrent. Within seconds, hundreds were pouring from the opening, a living river of wings that kept flowing for nearly 20 minutes as the colony streamed out toward the fields in search of insects. The Asian wrinkle-lipped bats are one of Cambodia's most important insect-eating species. Every night, these bats, some estimates say well over 1 million, surge out of these caves in a single breathtaking wave. They fan out across the surrounding farmland, hunting mosquitoes, beetles, moths, and crop-damaging insects. This cave system is one of the largest strongholds for the species, a living engine of pest control that rises into the sky at sunset like a dark river of wings. As the torrent of bats poured into the sky, the entire crowd fell into a hush. Conversations faded, drinks were set down, and every person stood with their gaze locked onto the dark ribbon of wings streaming from the cliffside. For the full 20 minutes, no one moved. We were all caught in the same spell, watching nature perform with absolute precision. It felt less like a gathering of tourists and more like a shared moment of awe, a silent communion under the fading Cambodian light. After nearly 20 minutes, the great river of bats finally began to thin. The steady torrent softened into scattered bursts, then into only a few late stragglers slipping out into the dusk. As the sky grew quiet again, the crowd slowly came back to life. People stretching, gathering their things, and drifting toward parked motorbikes, tuk-tuks, and waiting taxis. The hillside that had been buzzing with anticipation only moments earlier now settled into a gentle end-of-evening calm. Everyone heading home after witnessing one of Cambodia's most mesmerizing natural shows. Tomorrow morning, we trade cliffside for countryside as we pedal through Battambang's back roads, visiting family-run workshops, and watch locals practice the crafts they've perfected over generations. Then, as evening settles in, our journey continues at Preah Promroth Pagoda, where golden spires and quiet devotion offer a serene contrast to the day's bustling creativity.